Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about Get or GetX. So just like in our other state management videos, we're going to do an application about our favorite fruit. Because for whatever reason, I have a problem remembering what my favorite fruit is. So this application will have an app bar and 3 buttons. Each of the buttons will have a fruit name on it. And then the app bar will just say my favorite fruit is blank. When you press a button, for example, when you press apples, it will change the app bar to say my favorite fruit is apples. It's a fairly simple app. So the first thing we'll do is just go ahead and knock out our tutorial boilerplate. I'm just going to delete everything from here down. I'm going to change the name here to GetX. I'm going to do a stateless widget by typing in STLESS. Then I'll do my material app and my scaffold and an app bar. We'll give it a title of text. My favorite fruit is NA. We'll go ahead and run that. And we're looking good so far. So now let's go ahead and add a body and 3 buttons. Going to add the body and then a center and a column. And then we'll add an elevated button here. Go ahead and copy and paste that. Then we'll have apples, oranges, and bananas. Although in reality, my favorite fruit is chocolate. We'll save that. And there we go. There are the 3 buttons. So let's go ahead and add Get now. I'm going to click on Terminal here. And I'm going to type in Flutter pub add Get. If it worked correctly, you should be able to go down to your pubspec YAML file and you'll see Get in the file. Go ahead and import it at the top. And then we're going to create a class called favorites, and the favorites is going to extend GetxController. Now think of the favorites class as your favorites of anything, your favorite sport, your favorite soft drink. You could put anything into it, but we're going to just do fruit for today. So I'm going to create that at the very bottom of this file. So we've got the favorites class created. We're going to go ahead and add a method inside of it called change fruit to change the fruit when the button is pressed. So we'll call change fruit with the name of the fruit. And when we do that, we're going to set that new fruit name to this fruit here. And that is going to be what is shown in the app bar. And to do that, we're going to need to add update here. So now up here at the top of the GetX app class, we're going to instantiate that favorites class. So right here in the app bar, we're going to need to add what's called a Get Builder. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it. And then I'm going to type Get Builder favorites. Then add a builder, and then I can paste that back in there. And then right here where it says not available, I'm just going to change this to favorites.fruit. And if it worked correctly, you should see unknown here instead of not available now. So now let's go ahead and tie our buttons to the change fruit method. Okay, so when you press the elevated button, it's now going to call change fruit in favorites with the name apples, which is down here. It's going to take apples and set it to this string right here. Fruit will now equal apples. And up here, when it refreshes, it will then say my favorite fruit is apples. Let's give it a try. My favorite fruit is unknown. My favorite fruit is apples, oranges, bananas. Everything's working great so far. So we've got a little bit of redundancy here. We could clean this up a little bit. So I'm going to create a stateless widget right here above favorites called fruit button. I'll type in STLESS and type in fruit button. I'm going to do final string fruit here. Then in here, instead of the container, we're going to do the elevated button. We'll do a child of text with fruit in it. And then for now, we can just do that. So now we can take all this code right here, delete it, and just do fruit button apples. Oranges, bananas. So if everything worked correctly, so everything still looks the same. So let's get these buttons working again. We're going to go down here into our onPressed, and we're going to add Get.find favorites, change fruit, fruit. Now, since we have no other get references inside the GetX app class, we can remove this line up here. And simply down here in the Get Builder, we can add an init favorites. And then right here where it says favorites, we can take advantage of this underscore here and do that. And if everything's still working, these should still change. So that's the simplest way to implement Get, but if you want something a little bit more reactive, we can use OBS and GetX to make it observable. We will start by at the very bottom creating a model for fruit. We'll give it a string that's called name, and then we'll give it a default of unknown. Now in favorites, we're going to modify it a little bit. We're going to change string to final. The fruit variable can stay the same, but we're going to change this to fruit and add OBS to the end, which makes it observable. Then inside change fruit, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do fruit.update. We'll call it this fruit. And then we'll say this fruit name equals new fruit. Now we're adding the exclamation point here because we want to tell it this will not be null. And we know it won't be null because we're passing the name in the call. So now up here in the app bar, we can once again grab this text here, and then we're going to delete the Get Builder, and we're going to type in GetX favorites. We're going to init favorites again. Set up a builder. And because of the way we're calling this, we're going to do something a little bit different here. We're going to first do .value, and then we're going to do .name. So we're doing a restart on it. We're back to my favorite fruit is unknown. Everything should still work the same. Let's see if it does. And it looks like everything is still working. So you can also use something called the OBX, which I feel makes it look a little bit cleaner. First thing we're going to do is add our favorites variable back up here at the top. We're going to once again grab our text here, delete all of this, and I'm just going to simply type OBX and paste that back in there. Now we'll need to take this underscore here and we'll need to make it favorites so it ties in with this up here. So we'll give that a try. We're now back to my favorite fruit is unknown, and it switches to apples, oranges, and bananas. So that concludes our introduction to Get, and don't forget to let me know your favorite fruit in the comments. So here's another video you might also like, and if you're enjoying my videos, please consider subscribing. Thanks, and I hope to see you in the next one.